guys, it's me, Lena the Plug. What is up? I hate doing intros. Today, we're having a review of health class. Specifically, we will be discussing the female reproductive system, the vagina. Although my research told me that we've been using that word sort of incorrectly. Why are we doing this today? If you watched my previous video, I mentioned that a lot of comments on Twitter, Instagram, what have you, tell me that people are unaware of how the female and male body function. Some ridiculous comments include things such as, can you pee with your tampon in? If I f you, will I get pee on my dick? I'm gonna be totally honest, I learned some stuff during my research. And if I say anything incorrectly at any point in this video, please leave me a note in the comments. Don't trash me because, you know, people make mistakes, but I'd love to see what you mean, what I did wrong. I'd like to know the information, the correct information. This is my first time doing this, but honestly, it was kind of fun. Oh yeah, major, constant comments about being loose because of how someone's vagina looks from the outside, which isn't really how you can tell if a vagina is loose. Can a vagina get loose? We're gonna answer those questions today. So brace yourself. This is sort of an informative video. I'll try not to make it super boring, but I do have a diagram of a vagina, a vulva, which I will correctly call it from this point forward, hopefully, if I remember. So yeah, that is why I'm making this video, because I feel like it's really necessary. People need it. I needed it to some degree because I needed a refresher on my own body parts. So let's just get down to business. I have a photo that I printed out from my printer here. Ooh, it's upside down. Can you see? Oh God, Lena, it's so little. What were you thinking? This is the female reproductive system from the outside point of view. And we've been calling it the vagina frequently. And there is a part that's called the vagina, but that isn't on the outside part, which people are usually referencing. So the outside of the female reproductive system, which you can see if a girl has her legs spread in front of you, is called the vulva, okay? So the vulva consists of the clitoris, which hopefully you've heard about. There's also this thing right above the clitoris called the clitoral hood. It protects the clitoris from being aroused all the time, because, you know, if you wear jeans and you don't have a clitoral hood, all of a sudden you're getting off just walking down the street possibly. Over here we have the Labia Majora, often referred to as the outer lips, and the Labia Minora, usually referred to as the inside lips. And then I want to teach you boys about something you really aren't sure about, which is, where do girls pee from? And is it the same place that my dick goes inside of? No. It's not the same. You can hardly see her, but she exists. There is a urethral opening, which is the same thing that you have at the tip of your dick, where you pee out of. But ours is below our clitoris and before our vaginal opening, also called the vestibule, I'm gonna just word vomit all these words, I can't say them right. She is located between the clitoris and the vaginal opening, which is where you put your dick when you're having sex with a girl. Not the same, but if she has a tampon in, she could still pee. That's how it works. That's why she can still pee. If she's getting wet during sex, which is actually a really good thing, don't worry about that, it's not pee, you know? It's excretions from the vaginal walls. It means she's excited. It means she likes you, hopefully. Okay, and right below here we have the anus. Mine's not that small. I don't know if anyone else's is that small. Let me tell you what these things do and why they all exist. Okay, so the vulva has a lot of parts, but they're all really important and they all serve a purpose. There are parts of the vagina, the inside part, that are also important, and we'll get there, but first we're gonna work on the external organ. The clit is all about pleasure. There are, I believe, 8,000 nerve endings in that one tiny, small, itty bitty bit of space, okay? You wanna make sure that you are involving this area if you're trying to get excited in any way, shape, or form. And actually, this is really pretty recent new discovery, but the clitoris is actually like kind of longer than what you can see on the outside. And so the clitoris basically reaches all the way back into the vaginal canal area, or at least it borders that wall. So you can actually get clitoral stimulation from the inside of your vaginal canal. So That's pretty new and recent. But anyways, the Labia Majora and the Labia Minora, the lips, are also there to protect you from anything getting inside of your vagina. Guys don't have to worry about that stuff because all their junk is on the outside, but we need our lips, okay? Then we have the place where we pee from, the urethral opening, I already explained that. And then there's this thing called the vulva vestibule, which is kind of like the hallway to enter what is the vaginal opening where your dick goes. And there's the butthole, which you might want to put stuff in if you're really, really gutsy, and I tend to like putting stuff in there, but be careful. Things I want to talk about that are pretty important when it comes to the vagina. Lips are a big insecurity for a lot of women, and there are reasons why. It's because we don't really talk often about how there is no such thing as normal looking lips. They're not supposed to look uniform at all, but we tend to see one kind of vagina when they're being shown in diagrams or they're being shown in pornography, and that is more like this tucked away moose knuckle type vagina look. And so girls who don't have that sort of looking vagina are insecure about it and will get labiaplasty, or guys will see their parts on images like mine and be like, oh, she's loose, obviously, which is totally unrelated and it's not how it works. I have what people call a roast beef pussy, which basically means that my inner labia is a lot longer than my outer labia, so it tends to stick out more. There's so many different kinds of vaginas. I spent a lot of time yesterday looking at pictures of vaginas. You can have really short outer labia, really long inner labia, or vice versa. You can have one labia longer on one side than the other. That's super common. It's actually the least common type of labia to have the outside labia be super tucked to the point where you can't see any of the inner labia, but that is like what's considered like the pretty pussy and what is often shown in images. That's actually like the least common. Another thing that I want to mention about the vulva is that it is often much darker than your normal skin tone. I actually looked at some photos of mine. Mine is like purpley brown on the outside, my labia, and then when I pull them open to get into my actual vaginal canal, like it gets super pink and red. That's pretty normal. Like there can be dark brown, blackish, purplish, like those are totally normal colors for vaginas. They could also be pink, obviously, but having a really, really pink butthole is actually like not that common. The color is more dependent on your skin tone, but it's usually going to be a lot darker than the skin tone that you have everywhere else. So if you're super fair skinned, your butthole is still gonna be darker than your skin color, and it may look even brown next to your skin tone, but that's totally normal, okay? Let the air be cleared that that's not poop remnants. Everybody's got dark buttholes unless you bleach it, which I was reading some stuff. I wouldn't really recommend it. I did it twice and then I stopped pursuing it because I was like, this doesn't really feel right. But yeah, it's totally normal. I feel like this video is mostly directed at people who probably haven't seen that many lady parts in their life, and so they really, really don't know how it works. If a guy puts his dick in here, he will go through the vaginal canal. He might get to the cervix, which is the opening to the uterus. If you bust a nut in there and an egg also drops at the same time, they might meet and make a baby. But yeah, that is where your penis goes, and that's where it's leading up to when you get in there. Things I learned when researching this. The cervix, the opening to the uterus where the baby would grow, is the place where your doctor would pap smear you if you're a girl. I didn't actually know that that was the location that they went for. I thought they went just like in the vaginal canal. So that's how the vagina functions. There's no true normal uniform looking labia. If you wanna look at some labia drawings and labia that I looked at yesterday, you can go to labialibrary.org.au. I'm not gonna link it because I don't know if that's inappropriate or not for YouTube. I'm not really sure at this point, but yeah, labialibrary.org.au, very informative. The last and one of the most important things that I really wanna address is this idea of a loose vagina, often used to slut shame girls for having multiple partners. Your vagina, it stretches and then it retracts, okay? When you're excited and you're aroused for your partner, hopefully your vagina is expanding to let that penis inside of it, and it's also getting wet. If you go to put your dick into a girl and she's open and wet for you, don't accuse her of having a loose pussy and say that she fucked somebody else before you came over. I saw stories about this and I'm like, what? You're excited. This is a good thing. It could be likely that if you go to have sex with your partner and she's not wet and you can't get it in, like she might not be into it and you need to like give her foreplay or talk to her or something. I'm not saying this is the case all the time, but like you want that pussy to open up for you, okay? You want it to bust open when you are near it. The tightness of a vagina is more dependent on the muscles surrounding it. And basically what I mean by this is like when I started working out super consistently after I'd been with Adam for a while, he noticed a significant difference in the tightness of my vagina because of all the lower abdomen exercises that I've been doing. The thing that is crazy to me about this is that guys will often say that a girl who, let's say she had sex with 100 guys, that her vagina is looser than one girl who had sex with the same guy 100 times. Like that doesn't make sense logically. That's not really how it works. The reason that vaginas were made to expand is so that they can have sex, dicks can go inside of them, but also so that they can release a baby. But pretty much after you have your baby, your body will go back to normal from the time that you have the baby until like 6 months. It'll go back to like almost exactly the same. I actually saw one guy comment saying that the tightest vagina he ever had sex with was with a mother of 2. Basically, penetration will never cause your vagina to stretch out permanently. Like that's just not even a thing. There are only 2 things that could really change your vaginal elasticity, and that is aging. Just like the muscles there get looser over time. I mentioned that after I started working out, my vagina felt tighter to my partner. And so there are pelvic exercises that you can do to make your vagina tighter, to work the muscles down there. This is helpful so that you don't accidentally pee yourself when you sneeze, which has totally happened to me before. You basically want those muscles to be strong for that reason, so you don't just like pee on yourself. They're actually called Kegels, one of the exercises that you can do. I learned about Kegels when I was 23. I worked at that grocery store in Santa Cruz, and a lot of us would stand around and have nothing to do at our registers because we didn't have customers sometimes. And the girls would be like, oh, I'm doing Kegels right now. And I was like, what the f is a Kegel? And they're like, you know, tightening your muscles down there. So we just kind of stand around and do Kegels, which is such a funny way to pass time. But you can actually like buy something to do Kegels. I've never used one, but I have one. It's like these 2 little silver balls. They're like the size of like a super tampon or something. You put them up there and I guess you just kind of like hold them in there, and you want to make sure that they don't come out. So that's like one way that you can, you know, strengthen the muscles in your vaginal wall. But like, don't think that f***ing yourself with a dildo or f***ing yourself or getting f***ed by some dude is gonna stretch out your pussy. And you, dude, if you wanna f*** some girl and she's had multiple partners, her pussy's not loose. And like, f*** you. Anyways, I hope I cleared some things up here for you. My camera's gonna die and I'm gonna start rambling if I keep going. So if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know if you like this video. It's the first time that I'm actually like doing research to make a YouTube video just because I don't wanna say the wrong thing. And this video is probably not gonna make any money and it's gonna get demonetized, and I don't really care about the income because I have income from other sources, but when your videos get demonetized, they don't get as much reach, which is unfortunate. So if you could like this video, leave a comment or subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. I had to switch to my phone because my camera died, but I cannot leave without saying that I hope you have a good day on purpose and that I love you, and that I will see you next time when we go into the depths of other misunderstood things about the female reproductive organs and male reproductive organs and sex in general. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.